STU Journalism and New Media present The Basement Files.
Hi, I'm Keegan Ketty. Welcome to this week's Basement Files. Here are today's top stories. COVID-19 making life difficult for small businesses. The first National Orange Day to commemorate truth and reconciliation in Canada. The Fredericton Craft Show returned after a year off. And trustworthy marijuana dispensaries making a difference on First Nation reserves. COVID-19 has been around for almost 2 years, and now that the province has implemented mandatory vaccinations, it's making life difficult for small businesses. Millie Squires has the story.
Businesses have been fighting hard ever since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. With the province initially entering a state of emergency for 2 months, they've taken a large financial hit. The latest of these blows stem from the newly implemented mandatory vaccination mandate that Premier Blaine Higgs announced would take place on September 21st. I paid a visit to one of the locally run businesses, Jungle Gyms, to get an inside view on how business has been affected. The manager and partial owner, Holly Mercer, says business has been dwindling significantly.
The vaccination mandate has been difficult financially. Business has gone down 42% from last month and is not getting any better.
Danusha Hunter has been an employee of Jungle Gyms for over a year and says the new mandate has been hard on her own financial stability.
Ever since the recent mandate, I've been having a lot of trouble keeping up with my budget because we have had such less customers.
Part of the new rule involves employees requesting proof of vaccination as well as a person's corresponding government-issued identification. This also has created more stress in the workplace as customers tend to take out their frustrations on the employees.
Last week, I had somebody who came in and was so upset about the proof of vaccination that they kicked the door on their way out.
We can hope the COVID-19 pandemic is on its last leg so we can resume our normal lives and businesses can be up and running again. This has been Millie Squires for STU Journalism.
This past weekend at the exhibition grounds, the Fredericton Fall Craft Show was back after a year off. Proof of vaccination and masks were required, and Robin McPhail went around to see what was happening.
Along with showing proof of vaccination and wearing a mask, there was no fee to enter. Donations could be made. The building smelled strongly of homemade candles and soaps as many attendees browsed the goods Friday afternoon. Jen from Taylor Tots had a stand selling many different baby accessories.
Taylor Tots, I make handmade teething toys and accessories for babies made out of beechwood and food-grade silicone. Everything is handmade, including the toys, and all of the levies are made as well by hand. We put together.
Besides crafts, there was also different stands offering sweets and treats.
It's really nice being able to come to the Fredericton Fall Craft Show. It was a big bummer last year we weren't able to have it, but it's good to be back.
Newsphere Creations repurchases bottles to hand cut, sand smooth, and then hand paint. There were many stands selling different types of candles, varying in sizes, shapes, and scents. Attendees could sit, take off their mask, and grab a bite at Cheese Palm while enjoying the craft show. The Fredericton Fall Craft Show was a great success for vendors while also being a great place for a study break. This has been Rob McPhail for STU Journalism.
St. Thomas University closed its doors for National Truth and Reconciliation Day, but one day before, on Orange Shirt Day, the staff and students learned all about the Indigenous groups. Pirana Rivas Rabiano has the story.
St. Thomas University held different events to commemorate the Orange Shirt Day last Wednesday 29. Many students wore orange shirts, while others had pin-back buttons provided by the Indigenous representatives.
The Orange Shirt Day is a way to recognize the history of residential schools in Canada. The orange shirt itself is from a story from a residential school survivor. She showed up, she was taken to a residential school wearing an orange shirt and was stripped down naked. Her brand new orange shirt taken away from her because it made her stand out.
Rachel Burke, as an Indigenous student part of St. Mary's First Nation in Fredericton, is grateful the university is taking action because it raises awareness for these communities and involves students.
Closing tomorrow was a big step. I really appreciated that, and I was part of that conversation where it was faculty, staff, Indigenous, non-Indigenous, and we kind of unanimously said, like, this is a day for everybody, not just Indigenous people.
In the student panel discussion, students could ask about Indigenous communities and the impact on the university.
Well, as a non-Indigenous student, I think that it's very powerful to see the university take these steps and very encouraging.
Student Union President Ty McGee and Indigenous Representative Stevie DeMerchant were two of the main speakers. They encouraged students to open up and approach Indigenous leaders, educators, and students to ask questions.
I come back to the idea of political correctness. We need to dismantle that and understand that we need to look towards reconciliation. And to do so, we need to ask questions and educate ourselves.
We should be raising awareness of the importance of these type of events, since they are an important part of our culture. If you have the chance, participate in them and ask for more information. This is Pierina Rivas-Raviano for STU Journalism.
In May of 2021, the remains of 215 Indigenous children were found in Kamloops, BC. Ever since, mass graves have been found all over Canada. September 30th marks the first ever National Truth and Reconciliation Day in Canada.
September 30th is recognized as Truth and Reconciliation Day, a day to reflect and remember the children who left to go to school and never came back. Usually a day where students and teachers scramble to get from class to class, but on this Thursday, everything will be at a standstill. The 29th was filled with orange shirts to commemorate Orange Shirt Day at St. Thomas, as well as across Canada. Many gathered for the ceremony.
As an Indigenous person, it was really it hit really hard. It hit close to home. And it was really nice to see that so many people cared. And it was really nice to see that, even though so many of us are so different, we can all say the same thing, that things that happened were wrong and that they should never happen again.
The turnout was amazing for particularly the ceremony outside. I've been present to just about every ceremony that's happened out there, and this was one of the best turnouts that I've seen.
There were many places to get info on the day, such as in JDH, where the St. Thomas Student Union set up an info center on Indigenous people and what Orange Shirt Day was all about. Also, an info session at the Kinsella Auditorium was held by St. Thomas University Student Union.
It was really enlightening to see that the students want to take action and understand that there is a colonial past that Canada holds, and that they want to move forward and help us in this common goal of teaching the truth and having reconciliation on campus.
Since the first mass grave was found in May, across Canada there have been constant findings of other graves containing missing and murdered children at the hands of residential schools. There is still much to do to ensure the safety of Indigenous people. Perhaps the most controversial topic of the day was the fact Premier of New Brunswick, Blaine Higgs, declined to mark September 30th a holiday, making most people upset and angry.
It seems kind of very disrespectful and a slap in the face that the Premier is not honoring this huge loss.
I guess moving forward, it needs to be around reconciliation, because clearly words don't mean anything to this government.
Despite the government ruling, many businesses decided to take part in the holiday, and the city of Fredericton decided to recognize the day as a holiday.
I think tomorrow for me should be the National Day for Telling the Truth.
It's been a year since marijuana dispensaries made its way onto First Nation reserves, and it's been great for the economy and the mental and physical well-being of everybody on them. Robin Roy spoke with dispensary worker Ashlyn Urquhart on the story.
Dispensary worker Ashlyn Urquhart began working at Eelground Organics 5 months ago when the shop first opened. Since then, she has been giving advice to customers on what type of marijuana they can take to help with their health issue.
It's definitely one of the best jobs I've ever had in my life. I love being able to inform people about the cannabis industry and all the benefits that THC and CBD can have for your health.
Eelground Organics gets their product from a reserve in Ontario called Six Nations. The company is called Killen Extracts, and Eelground Organics is hoping to become their largest distributor in Canada. All of the product is lab tested to assure the highest quality possible. The dispensary is planning to open up a second location in just 5 months of opening their first. This will provide easier access for traveling customers.
We see customers of all ages, all different backgrounds. The people that just want a couple joints when they're going out on the weekends with their friends, to people who are older and their bones are sore.
Ashlyn says that her and her coworkers all agree that the best part about the job is being able to help people who are struggling by picking out the best possible product for the individual. This is Robin Roy for St. Thomas Journalism.
Thanks for watching this week's stories. If you want to see more, go to stufiles.ca. I'm Keegan Ketty.